Hey, everybody. Hey, look at here. Stephen West coming at you with a bonus live. So first of all, can I thank my wife? Obviously I can. I just did. Thank you, Lord, for when the first thing she said this morning was, have you seen Carl's video? No, I ain't seen Carl's video. What are we talking about here? So first of all, let's talk about reaping and sowing. I want everybody to watch my videos, but do I spend time watching other people's videos? Most of the time not, because I'm doing like 5,000 other things. And we just talked about fewer choices yesterday. So it's like watching other people's videos, just one of those choices I choose not to. Well, luckily she taught me, but here she was so excited about Carlton's video. She was going to tell me all about it. I said, can we get on the same page here? What if you just let me go watch it and then we can talk about it? And you go watch it and it's amazing. And then you see the comment I made. And then I promise, hey, this is too much to type. I'll just teach about it. So let me teach. So go read the comment, go watch the video, Carlton Reed in this group. Somewhere pointing as if it's somewhere around the thing that you're watching right now of this here face. And then look at my comment, look at everybody's comments, and then look at my comment. And then I finally said, this is too much to type. And because I'm a talker, not a typer. And this is flow state. So here's what I'm teaching. So Carlton's an amazing dude. And I told you I have a rule. If you like me, I like you back. And Carlton likes me for some reason. He likes Jared. And he's right. What he said, I think was true. It's tremendous chemistry and it's going really well. And oh my gosh. And it's really good. Now, why would he shoot that video? I don't know. Because number one, he's a great guy. Number two, he's a great guy. Number three, he's a great guy. Well, what's my point? Because he understands, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that there's a law of reciprocity. Now, I would help any of y'all with your challenge, but I'm good, especially going to help you if you help me. And so that's an amazing testimonial. So the odds of me showing up to help him with his challenge and being his testimonial, yeah, I'm teaching you something here. Is that illegal, immoral, unethical? If you're lying and you don't really like the product or you're promoting something that's just plain wrong. But if it's awesome, then be a testimonial. But let me tell you why you would edify somebody else. When you edify somebody else. So if you notice, we just do it naturally. I edify how awesome Jody is and she edifies me back. We're not doing that because for our egos. We're doing that for our bank accounts. And we're not just money hungry. Money is the measure of value and we're providing value. So when you edify somebody, I mean, one of the greatest strategies you can do is, everybody believes somebody has a white lab coat on and a clipboard. Even if they didn't finish high school, you just pretend they're a doctor. Just stick with me now. I'm bringing this back to time. You put somebody on a pedestal as if they're smart. Like, okay, Oprah created Dr. Phil or put him on the map and Dr. Oz and all that. And now all of a sudden they're Dr. this and Dr. that and credibility. Now, if you go on Dr. Phil and he promotes you as somebody that knows what you're talking about, you're done. Just like what put Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, on the map with that book was Oprah. She put him on her show. And when she got done, she said, well, I just sold 1 million of your books, because she knows the power of people listening to her and if she promotes somebody else. Now, in the beginning, I don't mean fake it till you make it, a little fake it. But if you're not Oprah, then all you got is your friends that you promote each other's stuff, not to manipulate or take advantage of people, but because that's just how business gets done. So let me give you my point. You don't edify. Carlton didn't edify us for our ego. I already got an ego. I don't need extra, as Jody's already said. What he did is, whether he did it consciously or not, he did it for his bank account. Because, and I'm gonna just show up and like make his challenge maybe better than it was, because like he acknowledged that I'm the self-proclaimed champion of challenges, the challenge champion. And then now I've given myself an identity and a reputation that I want to live up to. Think about that. It's another bonus lesson. Give people a reputation to live up to. So don't talk down to your spouse or to your kids and go, you never do this and you always do that. Man, always never is a long time. And you're giving them an identity. Give them something to strive for. Like, wow, I can't believe how you actually clean up the kitchen with excellence and the right attitude, even when they're not. And that takes faith to speak to someone about their future, rather than complain about their past and their present. That's a whole nother bonus. Okay, but let's get back to edifying for bank account versus ego. So when you are in a business with a team to promote something and everybody's always talking about how great everybody else is, people want to do business with you because everybody on your team is edifying each other. Because you're used to, unless you were born an entrepreneur, if you've had a job or been in any kind of job setting, what does everybody mostly do? Run each other down. And who wants to be involved with a business like that? Well, yeah, I don't know how to handle that, but I'll turn you over to Joe, but good luck. He's trifling. He's stupid. He probably won't even call you back. Well, great. So do the opposite. Do the thing that nobody else is doing, which is edifying. But you know how much Wake Up Warrior and Garrett J. White has impacted me. And he impacted Pedro. And we're here because Pedro has impacted us. And I am here excited about what Pedro taught because I'm the challenge champion. And Garrett J. White has already affected me. And I'm just now looking back on it and realizing if some of the stuff I'm going to teach today when we go live, Jody and I, and Jody's familiar with Garrett J. White and Warrior. So, I mean, he's had an impact on a number of people. And I'm not promoting him. I'm just promoting the lessons that I've learned. Check this out. Garrett's goal when he gets in anybody's training program is to be their #1 testimonial, not so much to promote them, though that's a secondary benefit. Let me give an example. Garrett is all in on ClickFunnels. I love ClickFunnels. I happen to love Kartra more now, but that's just a personal choice and for reasons we're going to talk about later. But Garrett's goal, being the #1 testimonial for Russell, is a byproduct is it benefits Russell, right? It's not to hurt Russell, but his primary goal is that it puts him out there in front of Russell's audience to lead people back to him. Is that selfish? No, it's just smart. It's good marketing. So what have you consider that you want to do what Carlton did and what Garrett J. White has mastered, which is if you get in somebody else's deal, be the best testimonial they've ever had and see what happens. That was what was going to take too long to type because I can talk better than I type. And I gave some bonus trainings in there. And yes, I'm promoting back to Carlton. I don't even know what we're going to promote. I don't even care. But if he's got a challenge, sign up for it. If he has anything to sell, buy it. Buy 2 of them. Buy 1 for you and give 1 to your friend. I'm not even kidding. You think I'm kidding because I kid a lot. I'm being serious. Why? Because he stroked my ego? No, because this is how business gets done. Don't miss this. This is just, that was unreal. And it was sincere. He didn't like fake it. He didn't strain it, I don't think. He sincerely liked us and was not ashamed to get on there. So ask yourself this, what would keep you from being a great testimonial for somebody? #1, it's a lie. You don't like their stuff. So then I'm not asking you to lie, like don't lie. But if you got any value out of it, and I'll tell you, one of the guys I learned a lot from was Mike Dillard. And Mike Dillard said he has never, ever not gotten value out of something. Because he was the one that studied why people would refund because it bothered him so much. He used to lay in bed at night. Why did that guy ask for a refund? He did a bunch of research and found out they decided they were going to refund before he bought it. There was nothing you could have done. You could have gave it to him for free plus a crisp $100 bill. And he would have refunded it because it's a pathology. They're pathologically and they go through buyer's remorse and they refund it. They get some, it's like, why does somebody smoke crack? I don't know if they smoke crack, but evidently it's good, like vanilla ice cream, because they love it. I don't know, but why do people refund? It is a drug. It is a thing. It is an addiction. So what he had to get over was the emotional attachment to people who refund. Okay. So what I learned from him is you just put it out there, and if people love it, they're going to love it, and people hate it, they basically hate themselves and everybody else, and you just can't get too wrapped around the axle. But that's what I learned about Mike Dillard is you are marketing to normal people, the people where you make a compelling offer, and you appeal to their logic and their emotion. Again, not to manipulate, but to motivate. Again, I've told you, manipulation is to take advantage of people. Motivate is to get them to do something that's going to help them. And you've got to believe that what you do serves them, that you solve a problem that they're willing to pay money for. Look, if you're solving a problem that people don't know they have or not willing to pay money for, you're solving the wrong problem. Because it's just, helping people for free is not sustainable. Just like Carlton said yesterday, if you don't think money's important, trying to pay your mortgage on your good looks, it's not going to work out right here. I can talk, I can sell. I'm probably not going to convince my mortgage company to just let the mortgage go. Hey, don't worry about paying us anymore because your video is off the chart. What am I going to do? Become a testimonial for the mortgage company and then they wipe my mortgage free? Hey, that was such a great testimonial. Use my mortgage company, because if you give them a great video, they don't even charge you anymore. That probably won't work out. So I forgot what I was even going to start telling you about Mike Dillard, other than it's the mindset of refunding. And we tend to focus on the negatives, right? And I sell on Amazon, so we get wrapped around the axle about the 1 or 2 1-star reviews we get because somebody had a bad day and got in a fight with her spouse, and the kids colored on a wall and their dog threw up, and and they just got this thing from you, and like, it's horrible. So I just had a guy return the thing. I was like, well, I got a lifetime warranty. If you don't like, something wrong with it, if it broke, I'll send you another one. No, I could have made this myself. Good. I'm always looking for manufacturers. Can you make them for me? Like, what, what the heck? I can make one better. No, you can't. Well, you got rotational molding equipment in your, it's a cheap piece of, it's not a cheap piece of, but it is a inexpensive thing from Asia. Okay, let's just put it that way. But let's be honest. He can't make a #2 pencil. And if you haven't seen that, go YouTube and search Milton Friedman, I am pencil or something like that. It's a pencil. Trust me, watch it or change your life. I couldn't do as good a job teaching for what a free market economy does for our freedoms and what we do. And that's what we're talking about here, a free market. No human, I'll just give you a little teaser. No human being can make a #2 pencil. It takes teams of people who are not forced or colluded by the mechanism that is the free market. People show up and voluntarily provide goods and services combined globally to make a #2 pencil that is ridiculously low priced. Now, I know most people don't use #2 pencils anymore. Just work with me. So back to Carlton and being I literally forgot. I had some great wham bang thing I was going to tell you about Mike Dillard, and I told him, hey, he's the guy that got, and it was something else, and it'll come back to me, and I'll teach it again one day. But provide as much value to other people, and then see what happens. And again, I'm going to end up talking to Carlton, or he can respond in a video and say, why'd you do that? And that's just the way Carlton is, maybe, right? It's like, hey, you impacted me. I'm going to tell you about it. Okay. What if you're like, well, I'm more introverted and more introspective, and you touched me, but I don't like telling people that. Okay, cool. How's that working for you? How you going to end up being somebody's testimony? So I know a guy that made a ton of money because he became the face, one of the promoters of Beachbody. You could do worse than study that, because they took a little diet and exercise program and turned it into a global phenomenon. It's like a gazillion-dollar company now. And he made gazillions of dollars himself by being just like the best testimony ever. He was a chubby little guy. And next thing you know, he looked like, I don't know, he looked like a fitness star. And that was the point. Like, look at this before, look at this after. And he was so excited and passionate about it. Like, hey, you seem to be promoting us for free. Why don't we just let you become an affiliate salesperson and make all the money you want? And yeah, just because he was being a testimony for free. Right? So he just showed up for free. So let me combat that with the opposite of showing up and giving value for free in the short term, not forever, right? Fake it till you make it, or show up and provide value, and it'll come to you. There's two things. Is wanting money before you figure out how to provide value is like telling your stoves, let's say you have a metal stove that takes wood, like fireplace, and say, hey man, it's cold outside. I don't want to go outside when it's cold and it's snowing to get that wood. So if you would warm me up, stove, I'll run out and get some heat, some wood, some fuel. And the stove's like, what? Well, stoves don't do that, but I just personified the stove. Stove's like, what are we talking about here? You want me to give you value before you stoke me with? No, you got to put some clothes on and go outside in the snow and get the wood and stick it in there and set it on fire. And then it just does what it does, right? It just does what it does. It's a piece of metal that houses the wood and the fire, and it radiates the heat. That's what metal does. It gets hot and then it radiates heat. It's just doing what it does. And the free market does the same thing. You provide value and then it'll give value back, which is the money. Okay. I didn't say keep doing it for free. Now, if your stove, you keep putting wood in it and don't put out heat, then you need a better stove. Something's wrong. Now you need better wood, or you need a better fire. I don't know how that analogy works right there, but work with me here. But the point about being the best testimonial and showing up and just being excited about a product. Hey, this changed my life. And the next thing you know, you got an affiliate deal, and they're like, hey, we see you promoting this thing for free. Why don't we just because they know if they incentivize you. And here's the neat thing about giving somebody an incentive. We don't want to hire you because then we got to pay you. And as soon as you start paying somebody, they're like, they sit in their office and they goof off and they're just worried about when's at 5 o'clock or whatever, right? They just, hey, I got a salary, what I need to work for. But when you give somebody incentive to go, hey, we're going to pay you all you want, but a percentage out of what you sell. So you only get to eat something if you kill something. You don't get to show up to the hunt club after everybody killed some. Hey, it was for dinner. For you, nothing, because you laid in the bed while the rest of them was hunt. If you want something to eat, get out here and hunt with us. If you kill something, you get to eat some of that, right? I like that hunting analogy, because when you show up and somebody else has got the hunt club and got the dogs and got the land, and you got nothing, you just show up and you go, hey, I get that when I kill something, everybody gets a cut, but I get a cut because you provided the environment to come work. That's kind of like an affiliate deal, right? Until you have the hunt club and the land and the dogs and, you know, take care of business, then until you do that, that's why realtors work for brokers, and brokers don't have to go sell real estate if they don't want to, because they got a bunch of realtors running around making them money, right? Just paying a cut. I mean, we just watched The Founder, or finished watching it last night. I mean, it's like, oh, my percentage is only 0.5% of several billion in revenue. Then, of course, according to the movie, cheated them their residual, but I mean, whatever. There's a whole lot. I'm not even going to get into teaching that movie. Maybe I'll do a bonus training about teaching the movie, because was Ray Kroc that horrible of a human being? I don't know. But again, I've always said it before and I'll say it again. Hollywood is full of money-hungry capitalists, and they make movies to make capitalists look like they're so horrible. I mean, was Ray Kroc really that horrible? Maybe. But I tend to side with him and wonder why the McDonald brothers was so in love with their product. And Ray was in love with making money and changing America. I believe he had a vision for, I'm going to change America. Now, you could argue that McDonald's is not a good thing to our health and all that. You can watch the documentary Supersize Me and why we needed fake milkshakes. You can go on a lot of why that was ended up not being a good thing. But you get away from all that. Look at that. They were mad because he was better at promoting their last name than they were. Oh, I just tied it back into what we're talking about. They thought he was arrogant, but in a way he was humble and said, I'm better. He told the guy to end in the bathroom. I almost spoiled a movie. He's like, you don't get it, do you? I knew how to market you better than you did. They should have humbled themselves and said, this guy's got some stuff figured out. I'm not going to draw any lines in the sand like, oh, he was horrible, whatever. I don't care. I'm teaching lessons here. So Carlton didn't get on the live to promote him, and yet he did. And yet he did. And he didn't do it with a hidden agenda. He did not. I'm not saying that. But he did it with a law of reaping and sowing. It's law. It's like gravity. It's not like the cartoons when they fall off a building, but they don't fall because I don't know about gravity. It's like not knowing about, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You have a cop tell you that. I didn't know what the speed limit was, officer. Well, it was posted. You must have been distracted. And I'm sorry, you're speeding. So I'm sorry you don't know anything, but that's the exact type of motorist I want to give a ticket. The ones that won't pay attention. Think about that. Well, I didn't know what the speed limit was. It is a speed trap. Look, I hate speed traps. I want to drive everywhere 900 miles an hour. Problem is, I don't have a car that'll go that fast. And number two, that would just be dangerous and stupid. I don't think I can operate an automobile safely at that speed. I know I can't. So a Tesla won't even go that fast. I just felt like doing that because I talked about Elon Musk the other day. So is this gone longer than probably it should have? Whatever. I'm trying to provide value right here. I mean, you're not even paying me for this. So calm down. So, hey, man, Carl, dude, just there's so many things right about what you did. I don't believe for any particular agenda, but like the founder, Ray Kroc, he basically said, who wants to eat at a restaurant called Kroc's? Nobody. It sounds like a good name for a rubber shoe. If he didn't get that joke, I don't know what to tell you. It sounds like a great name for a shoe. He didn't invent that. It's just a coinky-dink, I think. But it's like, who wants to eat at Kroc's? But everyone wants to eat at McDonald's. It just sounds right. There's some guy's last name that were brilliant. But one of the lessons, and we'll move on, is sometimes brilliant people that are really creative, that are really good at coming up with systems, can't develop a system to market or sell it, not at a mass scale. And let's face it, they were happy with their one little restaurant. Remember, said, oh, we tried that and that didn't work. What, franchising? Yeah, we did this and we couldn't do this and we couldn't do that. But what if you could? That was the thing. What if you could have quality control? What if you could establish standards from afar? What if you hired managers? Oh, we tried that. What did you do? What did you do? And so I would have you consider, when I've always used, people say, well, one of the things you got to have in business is a quality product. McDonald's, it might have started as a quality product. It ain't now. this not that great, but it fills a need, right? It fills a hole inside of you and stops you from being hungry. And its nutritional value is questionable at best, but it tastes good if you like that kind of thing. You know what it's going to taste like. You know how fast you're going to get. I mean, you know what you're going to get. And I remember they said, well, next we're going to put sawdust. There was some foreshadowing in the movie. It's some good cinematography. What we're going to do, put sawdust in the burgers? I'm not saying McDonald's does that, but they might. What we're going to use, frozen French fries? They do now. I think they went back to using ice cream in the milkshakes, but the point was powdered ice cream. Who cares? You're at a fast food restaurant. Who cares if it's real ice cream? Nobody went to McDonald's because it was a quality product. It was ridiculously fast. It tasted really good, and you knew what you're going to get. I mean, what? Okay. It wasn't a T-bone. It wasn't filet mignon. It wasn't Cold Stone Creamery. Nobody promoted it as, oh, this is going to be the best milkshake you've ever had. No, it's the best milkshake you got right now that you could get really fast for 2 cents or whatever prices were back then. Are milkshakes worth more? Or is our money worth less? That's a whole nother discussion. Okay, so all this came out. I love bonus teaching. And for me, this is a state of flow because I start to recall things or whatever. Now, you realize if Jody was here, she could get me back on track and we might not have talked this long, or we might talk longer because she's tremendously awesome at remembering things. And that's the thing you'll see us do. We're in there edifying each other, Jody and I, but not because we're trying to build some club where you like us and you may buy something from us, though that wouldn't be a bad thing because ultimately we want you to like us and buy stuff from us. I mean, we're business people. Don't fool yourself, right? That's ultimately what it's about. But we're going to stoke the stove first. We're going to put the wood in the stove first. And if we happen to get heat, great. If we don't, we just figure out what we did wrong and try again. We're going to provide value first. And what Carlton is saying is, I didn't pay anything to get here. And this is amazing. And there's some more things I'm going to teach today. I'm going to bait the hook of why you want to show up today about what Carlton did and how we accidentally, it was a pure accidentally showed y'all the next thing you need to do in your life. Because what Jody and I have done here is frighteningly amazing. And not because we're all that brilliant. Remember, we said, what did we teach yesterday? Experience beats intelligence. We were just intelligent enough to pull the trigger and be willing to do something maybe half-baked. If you literally look at that word, like who wants something half-baked? Like is the cake that's raw in the middle or the baked chicken that's raw in the middle? Half-baked, the outside's scorched and the inside's raw. Is this half-baked? I'm being, somewhat, I hate people to say, you can tell I'm being stupid now. Why am I saying That is just filler words. That's stupid. I just caught myself doing it. No, I don't. Tell me. Because I don't know. That's why I'm watching your video right now, Cool Breeze. Did we mess some stuff up? Was it all thought out? I don't know, but what's right about it is probably better than what's wrong about it. Because I noticed Carlton didn't say, well, sometimes Steve is an idiot. Which is putting it mildly, and sometimes he talks too fast and I can't understand him, and he makes references about hunting dogs and MMA and sports, and I don't get all that. Carlton probably does, but the point is not everybody does. And let's face it, I've already taught you that marketing is racking the shotgun, which means it attracts and repels. Am I going to attract everybody? But that's the neat thing about partnering with somebody. Jody commented yesterday, just in a one-on-one message, that we're like polar opposites, and yet there's so much chemistry. Yeah, and isn't that wonderful? Because the people that I may repel, maybe she attracts. And she's like, man, this is just, the odd couple. Look, that is a timeless story in movies and TV. Look, the odd couple, Batman and Robin. She's Batman, I'm Robin, just in case you were wondering. And just like, who said that the other day? Jason Fladley said, yeah, I'd be Robin. To Batman's cool. What if you could be like, if Iron Man had a Robin, an understudy, a Pepper Potts. I guess I want to be Pepper, or the military guy that's got his own like backup suit. It's Captain Cool Breeze or whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of off on this stupid tangent on Marvel. I went from DC to Marvel. Ain't got time for that. But to be opposites, and that's what we've been teaching. Like, well, I'm not extroverted. Now both of us are extroverted, so maybe that's not a great example. But there is a lot different about Jody and I, but I'd say we're more alike than we are different. And I would have you consider that whoever you partner with, you may be a more alike than you are different, but all you need is a little bit of common ground to partner with nearly anyone. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I don't even know what Carlton does or what his challenge is. And I don't even care because I want to help him. Because after all, I am the challenge champion. And Carlton reminded me of that. So I gave myself an identity. We did. Jody said, hey, I've been telling you to stay in your lane. You had a challenge, whatever. And we couldn't come up with a name. And then I just did. And ding, you could feel it. I'm like, oh, what's that? Goosebumps. And then I said that, right? I proclaimed it into the atmosphere. And Carlton's like, okay, yeah, I received that. I got that. I felt that. Then I'll throw it back at you. That's good stuff. So maybe Carlton is just naturally good at that, or maybe he studied this and applied it, or I don't know. It'll be worth asking and finding out. So you know how to get invited on other people's stages and other people's podcasts and get asked and begged of affiliate deals? Show them be awesome. Just show them be awesome. Man, I talked so much out of one video. Thank you, Carl. And thank you, everybody that's been here supporting us. I'm not trying to make like everybody else a second-class citizen or whatever, but I am giving you a reputation to live up to. And other people have shot videos. And I apologize if you were awesome too and I didn't watch them. I apologize. And I apologize that my wife didn't make me go watch the video, but she was like so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Have you seen Carl's video? Have you seen Carl's video? Hey. Could you calm down a minute? Could you just calm down for one happy little second and let me watch it? Because I get so excited about things. I loved movies growing up, and my dad not so much. So I'd go watch some movie back before, we grew up, we didn't have no internet or satellite dish or cable TV. I had to go to a theater and pay money to see a movie or wait for it to be rerun on a Sunday night on the 3 channels we got with rabbit ears. So I'd go to these movies, and I love movies. And I'd come home and I'd want to tell my brother and my dad, my whole family about the movie. And my dad would say, it's literally taking longer for you to tell us about the movie than the movie lasted. I think you're adding some extra. So obviously us talking about the book is going to take longer than you actually reading the book because we're adding our own experiences on. And that's, I don't want to give it too much away. That's one of the things I'm going to teach today is that very principle. To not start from scratch. Take somebody else's brilliance, take somebody else's product, like an ebook, and then add to it. And you say, well, who am I? But that's the wrong question. Who aren't you? Why shouldn't you? Are you serving anybody by playing small and hiding? If something has had a tremendous impact on you, go share it. Oh, I'm giving away too much. That's foreshadowing what we're going to do today. Because Jody and I look at the material and then we look for inspiration. There's material and then we could just get in here monotone and go, so to-do lists are garbage and you need a system for deadlines. And okay, great, thanks. I could have read that or whatever. We get in here and we passionately excited, go, ooh, take that and connect that with this thing I heard. And Tony Robbins said this and Dean Graziosi said that. And, I was in this thing getting beat down by Garrett J. White and I got connected with what my daddy issues were. I went back to when I was 7 and my 7-year-old self slapped me in the face and said, what's wrong with you? And by the way, it's another thing I teach is your 7-year-old self can set you free. But that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. But when I coach people and help people, and a lot of the breakthrough they get is a meeting. And there's science behind why you got to be 7. But I'm not going to talk about it right now. Wow, how long did this go? Like an hour and a half. I got to get back to work. This is work. This is what I do. So, all right. So I literally was looking at chapter 5 and 6 and got to the 3rd paragraph when an epiphany, and of course, I've been inspired by Carlton's video, and I got all this download from what I want to talk about today. So be excited about that because I'm excited. Number 2, when I told Jody that, she's like, well, what words was it? It wasn't so much what I read. Is the fact that I got in a state to focus on the material and things coalesced, things like a lightning bolt. I told her something hit me in the head. I don't know if it was a lightning bolt or a piece of spam or baloney. That's just a comedic reference. I don't even know what that means. Something hit me in the head and it was really, really good. So much so that I processed verbally, as you can see, and I got up and went in and told my wife a bunch of stuff, and there was so many nuggets in it that I jotted down a bunch of notes because I'll forget literally what I said. I was like, wait, what was something? She was laughing. It was going great. And I'm like, I don't even remember what I just said. And we didn't have it recorded. And so I did this and now it is recorded and it may be worth nothing one day. So there you go. All right. Hey, I've enjoyed it. I appreciate it. It's what I do. I mean, it's more fun to go live on Facebook and pretend somebody watched it than to do this to yourself. But you got to learn to talk to yourself, because if you're ever going to sell a product of your own, a digital product, unless you record yourself talking to other people like this, or a room full of people, is you got to feel comfortable looking at yourself in the eye, looking at the camera in the eye. I should be looking in the camera, not myself. Can you see I'm looking you in the eye now? That takes some skill, and I know better, and I should have been doing it, is to be able to show up for that. Having been an entertainer for most of my adult life, well, I was born an entertainer, but being a professional entertainer is when you get on stage with the lights and the mic and a room full of people and that energy. Oh yeah, anybody can show up and entertain. But when you have, like, somebody didn't promote the show and nobody shows up, or they stick a show in the middle of, I don't know, karaoke night, or a bunch of drunks at a bar that didn't even know there's going to be a show, and they're like, what is that noise? And it's just all this, or better yet, hey, we want you to do a guest spot for TV. Okay, where's the crowd? Ain't no crowd. There's the producer, the director, and then there's a cameraman, and there's you. And you're like, where's the energy? Oh, it's you. It's you. So people need to feel your energy on camera, or they won't listen to you. So you got to get used to this a lot, if this is how you're going to make a living. And I'm assuming you're on this to learn how to make a living doing this, or else it's a little bit weird, right? So get used to talking to no one, but talking to everyone. You got to create someone that you're trying to help. And I don't know who you are, but there's somebody out there I'm talking to. And a bunch of you may say, he talked too long about nothing. And there's somebody today maybe that got to aha like Carlton did. Like Carlton is eating up the nuggets, right? He said it. I mean, you saw how many, go back and look at our video. Don't look at it, but look at the comments he made. He's just one comment, oh, that's so good, and that's so good, and boom, bam, bing, bang, boom. And one of the things I start more than I finish, because I literally was going to teach something like Dillard taught me a while ago, and then I forgot. But I wrote down the name Stephen Covey the other day. And one thing he said, the number one way to retain something you learn is to turn around and teach it. Well, guess who's going to get the most out of the Double Your Productivity book? The folks that are teaching it, Jody and I. So that don't mean you have to turn around and Carlton don't have to turn around and have a video teaching what we taught him, though he could, right? He could repurpose what we repurposed and be second hand, third hand, don't matter. Knowledge is like that. You can't wear out knowledge. Can you wear out knowledge? Like if you hand me down clothes, after a while they get threadbare and worn out and out of style or whatever. Does knowledge ever get threadbare and out of style? You can't wear out knowledge. I just thought of that. Knowledge is something you can't wear out. Well, you can only if you just put it in your head to sound cool at a cocktail party versus applied knowledge. They say knowledge is power. Knowledge is crippling. Knowledge is crippling. You know anybody never left academia? They could not stand it in the real world? I do. I see them on Facebook. They went to college, they never left. They got multiple PhDs, not there's anything wrong with that. And now they're college professors, not there's anything wrong with that. But they tend to be very egotistical. Well, they've never had to actually go prove in the real world any of their theories. The research says that's great. It's like being a news anchor, reading the news versus going and experiencing the news. Actually going out, so many people are so sure that they know where they stand on certain issues like the right to bear arms, Second Amendment, gun violence. And he don't know what he don't know. But they're so biased in whatever Kool-Aid they've drank. Now, everybody's biased. I got my own bias. And everybody seems to have data. But has anybody ever done anything? That's the question. I want to listen to people that have done stuff. Like I'll be honest with you. If I wanted to hear some knowledge about what to do about guns, I might want to hear it from a Navy SEAL or a gunsmith or somebody's actually held one and knows what one does and which end the stuff comes out of. Not somebody that's just so appalled by them that they don't even know what they don't know. I'm not trying to get into political. I'm just saying, if you notice how people say, yes, you got to have a mask. No, you shouldn't have to wear a mask. What do you know? What does anybody know? And by the way, the experts don't know. So choose your experts wisely. What do I know? What do Jody and I know? I don't know. All I know is a guy named Carlton showed up and got tremendous value out of it. That's good enough for me. Because we focused on helping one person. Not that we ain't helping more than one person, but we know we helped one because he told us we did. One. Remember, so don't worry about 1,000. Oh, I need 50 people on my challenge. I need 100 people. No, you need one. You need one, even if it's your mom, even if it's a relative. Like one guy said, he started a business with 3 people on his email list and 2 had his last name because it was his wife and his daughter or his mama or something. That's okay. It's okay that right now your email list, everybody has your last name. That's okay. And isn't that wonderful? Love you. Gotta go. Gonna just dismount really quick. You're right in the middle of a sentence. Got to go. Love you, mean it.